Good morning. I have, my dreams have returned, and, the problem with my dreams is that they tend to be always apocalyptic. And this time, uh, once again, it was about zombies, and the interesting thing is how people react in these things. Now, I'm gonna take you to the part where we're fleeing into the mountains. And, well, the interesting thing is that, we all ended up pulling up into one of those mansions that you find in the mountains. There's a few up there. We have water on both sides, a river going down, and there was like a lake or whatnot. Not a lake, but a very large source of water. I don't know if it was a ocean of water that came up to the mountains, but there was a flood issue, okay? And we're all sitting there, and we're surviving. We're keeping alive. We're keeping quiet, and we were able to get so many people away. And while we're sitting there and we're enjoying this peace and harmony, a few people decided that they wanted to have a party or celebrate. And of course, you know what this means is that it starts to draw attention. And so we're sitting there, and there's a couple levels to this mansion. The bottom level had like a theater in it, and there was a second level, which was kind of like if you had a balcony level to a theater with another floor attached there. And then if you went up a little bit more, that's where the living quarters were. And, well, needless to say, it started raining. It was like a great flood. And the water kept getting bigger and bigger. And it kept getting higher and higher. And as we sat there and these people decided to do that, they attracted the attention, of course. And they, for some reason, they became so comfortable with where they were that they thought that they could risk everybody else. And, well, the water rose. It was a rain, a very, very heavy rain. It just kept raining and raining and raining and raining. And the water level kept getting more and more vicious. And there were a lot of zombies inside this water, and the mansion started getting overwhelmed, and a lot of us had to figure it out. But there was a few of us who were smart enough, and we knew the only thing to truly do was to run and to get higher up into the mountains. And then so we started, and we started making preparations. We started making ideas and plans, and they just wouldn't listen. They just kept enjoying their time. They thought they were safe. And when people think they're safe, they tend to get kind of dumb. You know what I'm saying? And so as the water rose and the storm grew, we had fences set up along the perimeter and stuff like that. And they started getting a little, how can I say, full of opposing forces. And so anyway, I was up in the second level trying to figure out what we could do, and I looked up on the river above us, and I saw them in there, and I was like, oh no, there's a lot of things going on. We have to warn people. We have to do something. So I started telling people, I was like, listen, we have to go. We have to leave. This might not be a problem yet, but it's gonna happen. And a lot of people ignored us and ignored me. So what did we do? Me and a few other people, we started going out. And once we got surprisingly overrun, before we estimated when it would happen, people started panicking and all that. And this is where my story started focusing on my journey. And I ran out. I got up, and there was a few other people with me. And, the problem is that we didn't have our shoes. That's how quick it happened. We didn't have our shoes, but we knew we had to go. So we ran, and we went up into the hills. And there was this one area where, we figured that the currents were keeping the zombies at bay. They were trying to move up current. And so we knew that we could make it up current to get away from everything. And so we started. We went down there. We went to this one area. It was a basin area where a lot of people would get onto a hiking trail or whatnot. And when you get here, on the right-hand side, you could see like a small little lake and an area where water would go over on a waterfall, and then there was a path to go up higher into the mountain. And me and this other person, one person already jumped down in there, and they're like, come on, we gotta go. And it was like, okay. So one guy jumps, and then I sit there and I jump in. And then we get in and we start running. We make it down in there into the water, into the little lake pond thing below. And when we get up and we start running, then boom, it happens. Everything restarted. But this time, I remembered everything. It was like a loop. And so what did I do? I said, okay, I'm going to need my shoes. I'm going to need to go along this path and go. And I was talking with the other people. And we said, if this position fails, we're going to eventually get overrun. And there's nothing we can do about that. And when we do, we're going to make it. And we're going to have to get over to Japan. And we're going to call Operation Japan Snowdrop. And so it started happening again. People started getting loud. They started enjoying their time. They started partying. And we started getting overrun. But this time I remembered my shoes. And I made it to the basin with a little pond in there. I jumped down in there and I was able to get onto the path of the mountain, and I was able to move forward. And what was interesting is, and I'm sorry the events are a little loose. As I said, it was a dream. A lot of things happened. And I sat there and I made my escape. And the question is, why were people, when they felt safe, getting so loud to attract the danger? They didn't want to. They didn't mean to. And you see, there was other factions. Wherever you were in the level of the house or the area, it was kind of like their own little group. We're part of one big system. But, they all had their different groups of people and attitudes. And it's really interesting. And anyway, I ended up working with a group that was a little bit higher up with me. They were kind of like the shed group, They were, a shed of a mansion is still like a massive garage or something. Anyway, so we made it, and we kept going on, and all the chaos was happening again. And, well, sure enough, after I made it and I escaped with my shoes and into the water, and I kept running onto the thing. And then I woke up and I realized that's going to be the sequel. But, as I remember more and more of this, a lot of times you can forget your dreams. I tend to remember them because they repeat all the time. I've had this dream before, and I've had it again. And this time I've got a new clue to the next point, which was that Japan Snowdrop. And I find that very interesting. Anyway, as I continue, as my dreams return and I look into the future, I am really curious where this story is going to go. Yeah, my dreams are always apocalyptic, and to be fair, I haven't watched anything zombie related since Rick Grimes vanished on The Walking Dead so many years ago. And even then, it was loosely watching. So, for some reason, zombies are in my brain right now. And, hey, let's just remember that. Even if we feel safe, it's never time to let your guard down, right? Like, okay, I can only save so many people, and a lot of times you gotta be responsible, and you gotta save yourself, and take care of others at the same time. So, let's have some fun, but let's be smart about it. Anyway, you all have a beautiful day! Rah, rah. Rah, rah, rah.